Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Draw with Rob, with me, Rob Biddulph. Now then, for those that don't know who I am a children's author and illustrator, and I've written lots of picture books and I've done the drawings in them too, like this one here. It's called Sunk. It's all about a pirate penguin. Well, he's not actually a pirate, he just likes playing at being a pirate with his friends. It's a really nice story, that one. And I've also written this one here, it's called Kevin. It's about a boy called Sid actually, who has an imaginary friend called Kevin, this big pink and vanilla chap here. But today, I thought that we would draw a character. He actually does feature in Sunk, the first book I showed you as well, but he first appeared in this story here called Blown Away, starring Penguin Blue, and he's one of Penguin Blue's best friends. It's this chap here. He is a seal, an Antarctic seal called Wilbur. So I thought I would show you how to draw him. He's one of my favourite characters of mine actually. He's very cute to draw. So, what do you think? Sound like a good plan? Let's just get my piece of paper here, put it in the middle. How's that looking? Is that central? That's pretty straight, isn't it? I get so annoyed when I look back at my videos and I realise that I hadn't done the drawing very straight at all. Right, so what you need is a piece of paper, something to draw with, a pen or a pencil. We'll probably need a little something to colour with a bit later on, but not many colours actually for this drawing, only one or two. So this is how it works, just in case you haven't seen any of my Draw with Rob videos before. I am going to draw a little bit of the drawing down here on my piece of paper. We're going to do the drawing a little tiny bit at a time. When I've done my little bit of drawing, I want you to pause the video, then you can copy exactly what I do. Then start the video again, I'll draw a little bit more, pause it, copy what I draw, then I'll draw again, then you will draw, then I'll draw, then you will draw, then I'll draw, then you'll draw. And of course, at the end, we'll have something that we're really proud of. Fingers crossed. Right, Wilbur Seal. Here we go. Now, I want you to start somewhere in the middle of your piece of paper. I want you to draw a nice, simple, horizontal line. Like that, not too long. About that sort of width, I reckon. Like that. Okay? What a nice, easy start. You can see that my horizontal line isn't absolutely perfectly straight, but I don't think that matters. A little bit of variety I think is actually quite nice. Right, the next thing to do is I want you to make a little tiny point, a couple of centimetres down, and sort of about a third of the way along. So if that's the middle, we don't want to go quite to the middle. We want to go about a third of the way along and probably, yeah, about that far down. Just make a little tiny dot, okay, like that. And the reason that I'm going to do that little dot is because we're going to make a sort of lopsided triangle shape. Sometimes I think it's just a little bit better to give yourself a little guiding point to draw towards. So, what I want you to do is from this end of our line, I want you to come down and join up with that dot. I've just sort of done it slightly curved, so it's not a really pointed end, like that. And then from the point down here where our dot was, I want you to go back along towards there. And again, we're not going to do a pointy end, we're just going to do a slightly rounded end, like that. Okay? Next, from this end of our upside down lopsided triangle, I want you to draw a straight line up to about there. Again, not too long. And then we're going to do exactly the same at the other end of our little triangle thing, like that. Two little vertical lines. Then we are going to join those two lines up in a big kind of curve shape. So should we do our little dot technique again? Why not? In the middle of those lines and a little way above, just put a little dot there. Let's maybe put another little dot there and another little dot there. And then we're going to do our little dot to dot drawing. We're going to join them up. Around, all the way around, down there, like that. Lovely. Okay, next. I want you to imagine that this line here goes straight through that triangle and carries on down like this, and we're going to go down, but then we're going to start curving around about here. We're going to go to there. We're going to go, if you imagine that line coming down, we're going to stop short of there just a little bit short of there, like that. Okay? And at the end of that line, I want you to draw another line, just a little tiny line, sort of blocking off the end of that line, of that curved line, like that. So it's like a sort of a dead end, like that. Then from the bottom of our little line, we're going to come across. It's not quite horizontal, it's slightly downward sloping. Can you see? Slightly downward sloping. About that sort of length. It's sticking out quite a long way from this line here. Then we're going to go up a little tiny bit, and then we're going to head back. About that far. Oh, there is somebody who's trying to get in the studio. Oh, did you hear that? Who do you think is trying to get in the studio? That's right, it's Ringo. Do you think I should let him in? Come on then, Ringo. I know what you're going to do. Come on then, in you come. Come on, don't just stand there. There's people waiting for me to draw. Ringo, come in. Ringo. Honestly, this dog is so cheeky. Ringo, everyone is listening to you. You're embarrassing yourself now. Ringo, come on, in. Right, no, staying. What a waste of time. Ringo, such a cheeky dog. I bet you don't get this with the other drawing videos that you watch, do you? Right, where was I? Yes. So we're going right back towards where we started, but before we get there, we're just going to turn around a bit and we're going to go up a little bit like that. And do you know what? That's going to be one of I nearly said Ringo, one of Wilbur's front flippers. Should we do the other one? So the other one, we need to do a sort of mirror image, but it's going to be on this side of his body. So the way we do that is, in the middle of our sort of curve, we're just going to do a little line coming down like that. And then from the bottom of that line, we're going to go along this way, about the same length as that line there. Because obviously, his two front flippers are exactly the same size, aren't they? Then we're going to curve up a little bit, exactly the same as we did over there. And we're going to head back towards where we started. We're going to stop about there and zoom up into the body like that. There we go, two nice front flippers. Now let's finish off the rest of Wilbur's body. Now what we're going to do, we're going to come down and we're going to go around. His body is a bit like a baked bean shape, I guess, something like that. So what we're going to do, again, imagine this line carries on through the triangle. We're going to come down, but we're going to start sloping outwards quite quickly, and then we're going to curve around his bottom like that, and we're going to join up there. And again, this line, we have to imagine that it's going to join up with this line here, but it's obviously, we can't go through his front flipper, can we? So there we go. Our seal is really starting to take shape, isn't he? Oh, lovely Wilbur, such a kind-hearted seal in my stories. Right, he needs a little back flipper. So this is how we do that. That's going to come out of his sort of, where this curvy bit is here. We're going to draw a straight line coming out. Again, we need to sort of echo the shape of these flippers here. So we're going to come up a bit and we're going to go back into the body like that. And that's going to be his back left flipper. Okay, now next. This triangle shape, the first thing that we drew, do you know what it is? It's a rather cool neckerchief. Now a neck is sort of like a handkerchief that you tie around your neck. Lots of cowboys wear neckerchiefs, and for some reason Wilbur thinks it suits him, and do you know what, I agree, I think his neckerchief really suits him. But because it sort of ties around his neck, there's a little knot at the back, so we need to draw the knot of his neckerchief. And what we're going to do, just where the edge of this neckerchief is here, just above that, we're going to draw a little tiny semicircle, like that. Then coming out of the top of that semicircle, I want you to draw a sort of leaf shape, like that. Going up at an angle, like that. Sort of towards, if this was a clock, it's sort of towards 2 o'clock, I guess, is it? Have I got that right? Yeah, 2 o'clock. And then we're going to do another one that sort of goes towards 3 o'clock, like that. And that's just going to be the little knot of his neckerchief. Now, Wilbur could do with a face, couldn't he? What do you think? Should we give him a face? It's only fair we give him a face. Okay, we're going to start with his nose. Now his nose, We're going to do his nose quite low down his face. Wilbur's features, they're all quite close together. I drew him like that because I wanted him to be really kind of cute and really appealing. So that's why I kept all his features close together. You'll see in a second why I think that works. And what we're going to do, about a centimetre and a half away from where the neckerchief is, I want you to draw quite a small oval shape on its side, like an egg on its side, and I want you just to colour it in like that, and that is going to be Wilbur's nose. Then underneath that nose we're going to draw a funny it's sort of a bit like a sort of curvy W shape. Okay, it's going to start just here, just next to it, going to come down, we're going to go along, slight bend upwards, and then we're going to curve up that side like that. So it's a very sort of flat W shape. Do you see what I mean? It curves down, it goes up a bit in the middle, and then it curves around again, there. And that's going to be his little sort of muzzle area. Is it a muzzle on a seal? I don't know. Muzzle, snout. No, it's not really a snout, is it? It's more, I think, a muzzle. I think that's the right word. What do I know? Then at the bottom, in the middle bit, that's sort of the curve up bit, I just want you to draw a little sort of semicircle, which is going to be Wilbur's mouth. Just slightly open, like that. And then we need to give him some eyes. We need to wake him up, don't we? So we're going to do two. The eyes are very simple for Wilbur. They're just two little black dots. Again, we're keeping everything very close together. We're just going to do one little black dot like that. And we're going to do one little black dot like that. Oh, little Wilbur. Oh dear. I just did a very funny little brush mark then. Do you know what? I'm going to take my smaller pen. Let's see if I've got one that's... Now, these pens are lovely. Everybody asks me about my pens. These are called Mangaka Flexible. They're made by Kuretake and they're really good. Can you see? I don't know if you can see, but they've got a sort of brush tip. But what happens is they go blunt like a pencil. So I have to keep replacing them. So I buy a lot of them at a time because they keep sort of going blunt. So that one I just picked up now, that was a blunt one, and I wanted a sharp one because look, can you see how I've made a mistake with that eye? I just sort of bloop, splodged it a bit. But I always say this to you, don't I? If you make a mistake, don't just screw up your piece of paper and throw it away. You don't need to do that. We can usually repair it by drawing. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to make his eye a little bit bigger. I'm going to make it slightly bigger to disguise my little mistake. And then of course, if I make that eye bigger, I have to make the other one bigger too. There we go. Okay, you'd never know, would you? His eyes are maybe slightly bigger than I would usually draw them, but I really don't think it matters. You know what, I might just make his nose a bit bigger too. Everything's a bit bigger. Who would know? Now, while I've got this pen, the reason I'm using this pen is it's slightly thinner than my other one, but don't worry if you don't have thick and thin pens, it really doesn't matter. The next thing to do is on his muzzle, we need to give him some little whiskers. So what I do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little spots, like the spots on a dice or a die. I think one die is called a die, and it's when you have more than one die, that's when you call them dice. Did you know that? It's not a dice, it's a die. I think I'm right. Okay, we're going to do the same here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Ringo, stop scratching to get in again. Ringo, I'm not going to come and let you in. You didn't come in last time. You had your chance. You can stay out there now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And coming out of the sides, we're going to do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There's no point in barking at me, Ringo. I know if I come over there, you're not going to come in. Right, he's really looking at me. He's got these big brown eyes, and he really looks at me with them, and he does a little bark. Okay, let's see if he comes in. Come on then. Right, you're going to come in this time. Come. Good boy. Oh my God. I can't play with you now. I can't play with you. He wants to play with me. He doesn't want to come in at all. He just wants me to go out and play with him. Well, I'll play with you after I've done this video. I don't know, Ringo. Okay, right. So there we go, his cute little features. Now, do you remember, I've told you about the smiling before and the eyebrows before. When you do the eyebrows, when you draw a smiley character, if you add eyebrows a long way above the eyes, it makes them look extra smiley. But also, if I add 2 little eyebrows here, 1, 2, a long way above the eyes there, it makes him just look really sort of eager and enthusiastic and cute and nice, I think. Just like a really nice character. Oh, Wilbur Seal. And you know what? that's pretty much all the line work we need to do for Wilbur. It's time to colour him in now. Now, Wilbur is white, actually, pretty much white, maybe just slightly off-white, slightly grey, so we don't need to do too much colouring, but his little neckerchief here can be any colour and any pattern you like. In the book he wears a red one with white little polka dots on it, so that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to stay faithful to my original illustration, but you can do anything you like, because Wilbur, I happen to know Wilbur very well, and he has got an extensive collection of neckerchiefs, all sorts of colours. He's got rainbow ones, he's got stars and stripes ones, he's got all the flags of the world in his neckerchief. He's also got pattern ones, ones with little hearts on, ones with stars and moons and things on, some in just sort of different stripes. So you know what? You can do anything you like with his neckerchief. That's the area that we can have a bit of fun. The rest of him you can just either leave white, or you're going to see I'm going to do a little bit of sort of shading. I think I might use a bit of watercolour actually for this one. I'm going to do a little tiny bit of shading. And you know what? I'm going to do my usual trick. I'm going to go into super speed mode to do this. You like it when I do that, don't you? So here we go. I will see you on the other side of my super speedy colouring. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so here we go. Here's Wilbur Seal. And by the way, I should tell you, in the course of me doing this little bit of speedy colouring in, Ringo finally decided to come in. I went to the door and he's in, so he's behind me now. Looks like he's falling asleep, hopefully, so he won't bother us anymore, but who knows. Right, so as you can see, I've just added a little bit of sort of grey and black around this side of Wilbur, because I've decided the light was coming on, shining on him from this side. So this side is all light and this side is a bit dark, you see. And then I've just coloured in his little neckerchief, a few white spots on a nice red neckerchief. And again, I've made it slightly darker red over this side, you see. And then that just makes your drawing look like it's sort of rounded. It's a little trick for you. You can just sort of shade it on one side. Now, Wilbur's sort of a bit furry, so I'm just going to use a normal pencil now. And I'm just going to add just a few little sort of dotty lines just around here, the dark, on his sort of dark side, like that. I'm not going to cover his whole body, I'm just going to sort of do it like that and get a bit lighter with my pencil marks. I'm just pressing slightly lighter as I come out of that shadowy area. I'm going to add a few more just on this side here, just to give it that suggestion that he's covered in fur. That's all you need to do. You don't need to cover the whole thing with these lines, you see. You just do a few here and there, and the people looking at your picture, they'll sort of fill in the gaps themselves. They'll just assume that his entire body is covered with fur. It's just a little trick that we artists use, you see. I'm going to do it here. I sort of figure the fur texture would be a bit more visible where the light wasn't shining directly on it, if you see what I mean. So I just do it in the darker areas. A little bit will extend down onto his flipper here. And we'll put a few, and I'm sort of following, can you see I'm following the direction of the flipper? So I'm sort of going down the flipper. This flipper here is in shadow. You'll notice I've done that a bit dark because, oh, no. That's annoying, isn't it? Never mind. It's in shadow because it's behind his body, you see, so I always do that a little bit darker. Oh, I don't know what I can do with that. Oh well, never mind. It doesn't matter, does it? Just adds to the character of the drawing. So there we go. Now, there was a couple of other bits that I forgot to tell you about. Just on his flippers, we're going to give him, there's sort of little, it sort of separates his little toes. Here's just a couple of little lines there. I don't know if they're, do you know what, it's quite a long time since I've drawn Wilbur, so I can't remember if he's got little claws or whether they're just little toe markings. So So there we go, there's our Wilbur. Now I want to add a bit of shadow. Do you remember one of my favourite things to do is make it look like our character is on a surface. Now Wilbur lives in the Antarctic, which is mainly made up of ice, so whatever he's standing on is white, so we don't need to draw anything else there, but I just want to add just a little bit of sort of shadow. Shall I use blue? Yeah, we'll use... No, do you know what? I'm not going to use blue because I think it'd be quite nice if this drawing, if the only colour in this drawing was red, apart from the kind of grey. So I'm just going to use my regular pencil here, and I'm just going to add just a few little bits of scribble just around the areas where his flippers are in contact with the ice. So just a little bit here and there, just like that. Maybe I'll add just a light sort of scribbling just under his body because it would be casting a bit of shadow. There we go. I think that's not bad. So we've pretty much finished our Wilbur Seal. The last thing that we need to do is sign it, isn't it? Do you know what? I'm going to cover up that bit of red. I'm going to do my signature a bit bigger than normal. I'm going to use my brush pen and I'm going to sign my name here. Oh, look at that. Oh. There we go. You would never ever know, would you? See, even when you make a mistake, you have to think of creative ways to kind of hide your mistake. So there we go. There's my finished Wilbur Seal from my books Blown Away and Sunk. What do you think? I really like Wilbur. Actually, drawing him again has reminded me how much I like him. Maybe I should write another story for these characters. It'd be quite nice to revisit them. Maybe, who knows, one day maybe I'll do that. That would be cool. In the meantime, I really hope you've enjoyed today's Draw with Rob session. I certainly have. It's been very nice to talk to you. I'm going to be back very soon with another Draw with Rob video, but in the meantime I want you all to stay safe, take care of yourselves, keep on drawing, and I'm going to see you all again very soon.